everyone, and welcome back to Jesse Hecht Creative. Today we're going over the top 10 4-inch scale Jakks-specific Sonic the Hedgehog figures of 2023. Before we begin, make sure to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button. Now let's get to it. Number 10 is the Jakks Gold Metal Sonic with the really cool blue tint. I like how it looks, however, this could be a metal color as well, as are these parts on the feet on the sides, and it could have been done way better, I think. The articulation is not that great at all, not a big fan of that. This could be painted a little bit better as well. This could be moved to the foot at least, Jakks, and I'm just not a big fan of how this figure turned out. It's kind of a shame. Especially the posability, you can kind of get him into any pose that has his arms like this, but that is very limiting when you can't really swivel it that much. It's a big shame. At least I love his accessory. It flickers in and out when you twist it. A holographic ring inside of a bubble is just wonderful and great. I love how it looks. It's a great piece, and more parts like this should be holographic. Number 9 is Angry Sonic. I like this figure a lot. I feel like the head is a little bit better as far as weight distribution goes. Either that or I found him in a pose that works well for him at least. He has one fist over here and one holding hand over there with two Sonic shoes over there. An angry scowl on his face. I really love how anime this looks. It is just excellent. Excellent for a Sonic figure at least. It took me a lot of finagling to get this pose down, but he looks pretty good. He is very top heavy though, and will kind of fall at least if you get him in a position that has his head dropped to the ground. And even though it's not holographic, this 10 ring is still pretty cool, but I'm kind of counting the Angry Sonic to be better than the Jakks Gold Metal Sonic. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Number 8 is Infinite. I really love how this figure looks. He is really nicely done in the sculpt and paint department. Just awesome. He has no eye over here, one eye over there, really crazy ears going on, a wild mane of hair, a cool tail with like 5 points. That's awesome. His shoes are really amazing too. The gloves are great. This little thing, whatever over here, is wonderful. I just love the paint on this guy. It is excellent. It is somewhat hard to get him into a pose, which is why he's so low on this list. I do like the character and how he looks. However, I know nothing about him, and I find that he is just too hard to pose at some points. You really have to find a good center of balance. Unfortunately, I could not find my Phantom Ruby. I do like the accessory, but what's really weird is I found this in its place. I'm not sure what happened here. I know this is not the Phantom Ruby, but again, the Phantom Ruby looks really cool, kind of like this, so I guess I'll use this in case I don't find it. Number 7 is yet another Jakks Gold figure. That's right, it is Supersonic or Hypersonic or however you want to call him. I really love how this figure looks, especially the tint of orange on his quills, going down to yellow, going down to the blazing hot white over here. Fantastic, really well done on this. The paint is really great too. Here's a mark of red on his stomach, really nice, showing the flesh over there. He has a little bit of white underneath his arms too, on the front of his legs, and all the way down his shoes. It is just excellent. I really love how this figure looks. My only issue is everyone's saying that he shouldn't be sort of white painted in this, and I'm like, he should, because he's blazing hot white. That's what this figure is all about. And getting him to pose wasn't really that bad either. I do think I'm ranking him a little bit low. However, the rest of the figures are just so much better as far as paint, sculpt, and articulation, and we've seen a million classic Sonics before, and I can let this slide even though I love the paint on this guy so much. And he does come in an accessory we've seen a couple times before. This is the white or clear Chaos Emerald that was the last to complete the Chaos Emerald collection. I do think this is a really great piece. I love how it looks. We've seen it 7 times from now, although this one is very unique as it is fully clear. Number 6 is Blaze, who I really love the paint, sculpt, and pretty much articulation for the figure. However, I do find that the face is not that great. It is a blank stare that provides no context of what the character is, who they are, who Blaze really is as a person. Just sort of a hello, blank kind of stare there. It's kind of a shame. I would rank this figure higher if it weren't for that, even though I do love the sculpt as well as the paint. Articulation is very nice as well. Double jointed knees and all of that, looking really awesome. I do think this figure has a lot of merit. However, I'm not a fan of that face. It's just plain weird. It was very difficult to get Blaze into a pose like this, which is why she's so low on the list. And also, I don't know anything about her. I do appreciate the design of the figure, but really, I just need to know more. And that face is just kind of bland. I'm sorry. The tail is the best part about about posing this figure though. It's really nice and adds a little bit of nuance. The red soul emerald she comes with is kind of a dud. I'm not a big fan of it. It's very hollow and not really that great at all. Just sort of a cheap cash grab or something else to collect after the really great looking Chaos Emeralds. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for watching so far. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also click the bell icon for more creativity. Now let's get back to it. Crackling his way into the top 5 is Super Silver. I really like this figure a lot. He has some great coloration, wonderful sculpt, and is miles better than last year's Silver the Hedgehog. Just a wonderful figure in general. Those boots are great. The hand symbols are really nicely done. The coloration is wonderful too. The red eyes are excellent, and he's just so great. Amazing. Posing him was a snap, very easy. He isn't that top heavy at all. He's very centered actually in his gravity. It's super nice. All those tendrils on top of his head really make a uniform balance that he adheres to. I also liked getting the sort of L that his fingers are making into a nook for his nose and eyeball to hang out in, so that works really great, I guess. And he does once again come with the clear or white emerald as we've seen with the Jakks Gold Sonic, and while it is the same piece, this was the first time I ever got this emerald, and I'm glad to complete the collection of Chaos Emeralds. Number 4 is Jet the Hawk, a new sculpt and a great figure. I love how he looks. The red boots and gloves are so nicely done. The design on them is really great. His crest is great and wonderful. It's so cool and very feathery. The beak is really nice too. The eyeshadow, I guess, is nice as well. And those goggles are pretty great. But this mohawk is something special. It is wonderful and excellent. We have this tail that's really nice. And it just looks so great and all around awesome. Jet's extreme gear is very nice. I love how this thing looks. It is great. It is a magnet for scuffs and scratches though, so be careful with that, and it's a really nicely done piece. It has a lot of great potential, so why is this a number 4 and not number 3 or above? Posing Jet is pretty limiting on this thing, honestly. You either have this or this as your pose, with Jet leaning more towards the center of the board. I do think this is a nice board. We could have had a lot more pins going on with it. You could have had some over here or here to have his legs stretch out a little bit and get some more squats in there, or something at least. Something a little bit better than what we have already. You can just use one over here, but really the center of balance is not that great, and he topples very easily. But that all being said, Jet can still pose well even without his extreme gear, looking very intimidating in this tired or is he ready to go kind of stance. Before we get to the top 3, here are some honorable mentions. This glittery, almost glowing Sonic is nice, but I find him to be not that great a figure. He is a repaint of another Sonic figure that is much better, I think, than this. The glowing effect is also really weird because now with this they may release the rest in the same color scheme, and that's just way too much supersonic for my taste. The glittery glowing tails from the same 3-pack that the previous Sonic came from is with this weird tail. I hate it. It's awful. Need to do away with it pronto. It's just so big and takes up a lot of room for the figure. Can barely stand with it. He doesn't need it. Get rid of that, Jakks. You're better off without it. And Jakks reusing this old mold of Knuckles isn't really that great. Not a big fan of it anyways with the advent of the new mold, so this one is just kind of a dud. It's a shame because it could have done so much better, and the coloration is more magenta than red on this glittery glowing Knuckles. But the creme de la creme of honorable mentions comes in the form of this skateboard Sonic. I love the paint on this guy so much. It is gorgeous and wonderful. I would have put him on the actual list here, but he comes in a gray area of having been released, I believe, in 2022 and 2023, at least in some bargain bin stores, so I will not be putting him on any list, but he is a definite must if you love Sonic the Hedgehog, especially with this on the bottom. It's just so nice, and what a perfect figure this is. So now that you've seen these honorable mentions and the rest of the figures, who do you think will be my top 3? Or who are your top 3 of 2023? Let me know in the comments, and we'll see my top 3 Sonic the Hedgehog Jakks specific figures of 2023 right after this. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for watching so far. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also click the bell icon for more creativity. Now let's get back to it. And in the top 3, we have the Jakks Gold Mecha Sonic. I really love how this figure looks. It is very comic booky in a way, but I really love how it just looks with all those lines. They are just excellent. The red is really deep over here and here. The lines are really nicely done, as I said before, and the weathering is just phenomenal on this piece. It is just so well done and really great. The wheels are super cool. Everything about this figure is top notch to how he looks in the games, and the additions of the weathering as well as these lines really sell this figure. And getting this Jakks Gold Mecha Sonic into this sort of transformation wheel mode to blitz his way through Sonic the Hedgehog is really nicely done. I love how compact it looks, and it's just amazing. Those wheels on his ankles are really well done too. He comes with this item monitor that looks pretty normal, except when you twist it, it's holographic. Super nicely done and very great. I love how 3D this looks. It is excellent, the image on here, and even though this is an old mold with a fresh coat of paint, that coat of paint is super fresh. Cream the Rabbit is number 2 on this list, and I really love this figure. Very faithful to the games. The scaling is really nice. The ears are adorable and cute, and little cottontail is nice too. I don't think I noticed that in the original figure. Awesome. The shoes are really great as well. The sculpting and paint are amazing on this figure, and the accessory is wonderful too. The posability and balance on Cream is wonderful. She has a very low center of gravity, and she's very small, so posing is very simple, but more importantly, her feet are huge, or at least her shoes. They are really well done for posing, and on one foot in the silly pose like this, I really love it. I really love this ice cream cone accessory. We have mint on the top, vanilla on the bottom, with sprinkles everywhere. It's very nicely done. We have some wrapping over here, and there's also some cone over there too, textured incredibly well. This is an amazing piece and looks so great. I just love this so much. And it fits in her hand really well. And the number 1 Jakks specific Sonic the Hedgehog figure in 4-inch scale of 2023 is Knuckles. I really love this figure. It is a vast improvement over the previous mold. Knuckles has 2 fists now. He has a great smile. His dreads are in a better position. His arms are in a better position. They can move more freely. His legs are a little bit longer and can move really gracefully. I love how this figure looks, feels. Everything about it is just 5 million steps above the previous one. It's just pure awesomeness. His articulation and posability from the neck down is amazing. I really love how this figure looks, and even though his head can't move that well, I applaud Jakks for giving Knuckles the ability to move his arms through the dreads. Really well done on that. He just poses so well. And while Knuckles does come with a stock spring that we've seen before, it is very fun to move. I really love this thing. It's the one accessory that the Sonic characters have, aside from other springs at least, that can move about. It's really great, and I love how it looks, feels, as well as you can put it on different accessory plates. It's very versatile, and the sky is the limit with this being used for 4-inch and 2.5-inch figures. Overall, quality. Jakks Pacific has really been stepping up their game this year with these action figures. The Sonic the Hedgehog line is one of their best. The sculpt, paint, articulation, and accessories have to be in an incredible harmony for these figures to be the best. But even still, some figures are discordant with this, even if they have brand new sculpts or even if they have amazing paint. A figure with a new sculpt such as Infinite or Blaze can look really nice but come off as somewhat bland or even top heavy, or rise to being one of the best in the line such as Jet and Cream. Figures that have old molds and new paint can be duds such as the Supersonic 3-pack and the Jakks Gold Metal Sonic, or they can rise above it all and be truly awesome despite their reuse of parts such as Super Silver and the Jakks Gold Skateboard Sonic. But true quality is found when you have a hybrid of old parts and new parts, as well as old paint and new paint such as the Angry Sonic, Jakks Gold Super Sonic, and Knuckles, that a figure is exactly in balance. I can only hope that 2024 is even better. But make no mistake, 2023 has been an amazing year for Sonic the Hedgehog fans and Jakks Pacific fans. So what is your top 10 or top 3 or your favorite figure here? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching Jesse Hecht Creative. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also visit us at jessehechtcreative.com for more reviews like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and keep being creative. Stay tuned.